Hi, it's been ages and now I kind of don't know what to do. So I'll start off by saying that this is the Surrey Crafter YouTube channel where I talk about crafting, knitting and all sorts. Secondly, I've been gone for over 6 months and I just wanted to kind of come on and give an update, just a life kind of update, talking about some struggles I've been having that does involve crafting as well. Thirdly, I don't know why I'm appearing so orange and so I'm not quite sure. I think it's just the light. Fourthly, if you hear any noises, I'm sitting cross-legged on my sofa and I'm also knitting at the same time. There'll be no heavy editing on this video, so if I need to have a drink, then I'm going to have a drink because my throat's really dry. This video does involve talking about mental health, some surgeries and weight loss basically. But I just wanted to give kind of like a life update just about what's been going on and why I've been so absent. There is nothing so serious that's going on, like everyone's fine, but I have kind of reached a point where I'm more confident to talk about things that have been happening and I'd like to share that with you. First off, this is not a podcast. I'm not going to be showing finished objects or anything like that. Will come at a later time. I don't know when, but it will. And I don't even know where to start with that because it's been so long. So I think when I do eventually podcast, I'll just start again. I'll just start anew. I think that's the first thing I'll actually address in this video, is that my content will not be how it used to be. Looking back at my videos, I just think like, what was I doing? And I just think I was so conscious about what other people thought of me that I edited my videos so heavily, and it actually just became like not very enjoyable for me, and it wasn't portraying how I truly am. A lot of the times I'd edit out like when I stuttered or when I kind of paused for thought, and really I shouldn't, because that is just how I am. I do stutter a lot. I don't have a stutter, so to speak, but I do occasionally stutter, and I think that's just part of me having hundreds of ideas in my head and trying to get them out one at a time. So from now on, my podcast will be completely unedited and completely authentic, and that's how I want to be, and that's also the kind of content I like watching. So just going forward, I think that's just how my podcasts are going to be. And they're probably going to happen every 2 to 3 weeks, just because I've been a lot more intentional with my making, not just trying to make things because it's a craze, which I was doing. Obviously I did want to make the stuff, but making stuff at speed, it wasn't enjoyable for me, and I want to be much more intentional with my making. I've sorted out a lot of my yarn recently and I'm in the process of stashing down too. So yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to address, that my old videos I really wasn't happy with because I didn't feel like I was showing me. I thought I was showing the me I wanted other people to see, because I was self-conscious, but that actually wasn't making me happy. So when I was editing my videos, I was actually just so bored and fed up watching them, you know, and heavily editing them, and yeah, that's not what I kind of want to give out. So going forward, I hope to be a lot more authentic and myself, and to just let people accept me for who I am. And yeah, that's just that really. Another thing I wanted to talk about was Knitting Mojo. So following my last videos, I basically lost my Knitting Mojo completely, and that partly came with the fact that I started to lose weight intentionally. So I decided to go on a weight loss journey, and I've got nothing against how anyone wants to, you know, have their body. Bigger people can be healthy and smaller people can be healthy, and all bodies are beautiful. But for me, I was at a place where I really wasn't comfortable. I've struggled with my weight since having my children, and that's part of the anxiety that came with being a mum. especially a mum to a disabled child, and I would just eat for my emotional well-being, which is not great. But I decided to push past that and, you know, to try my best to get through it. And so far, I'm happy to say that's been really successful. And I have lost over 3 stone now. Just full transparency, I know there are weight loss medications on the market and there's weight loss surgery. I have just been calorie counting. I don't have anything against people that choose some other methods, just that does not work for me, and I would actually not be suitable to take weight loss medication anyway because of health conditions. So yeah, just full transparency, I did lose weight by just calorie counting. And I'm not giving advice to anybody because I'm no expert. I'm still trying to figure things out myself. So I did end up losing 3 stone, and I do want to lose some more weight to put me, you know, nearer to a healthy weight and healthy BMI. So with kind of that weight loss, I went to try on my knitted jumpers towards the autumn to winter, and I could have cried because they were all so big on me that they looked terrible. So I tried them on, and obviously everything was knit to be oversized on me before I'd lost weight, and obviously I'd lost weight and it just ended up looking like a curtain. And I ended up giving most of the stuff away to my older sister, who is, you know, we were the same size-ish, but we're not now. So she has all of that and she's happy with that. So I'm happy I could have passed it on. But also, I was devastated. I know I could undo all the yarn and re-knit them. But yeah, some of the yarn has had wear and tear, so I don't know how it would wear up. And some of it was acrylic, kind of cheaper yarn. And I came to terms of letting go of that. And I just thought, you know, well, there's no point me knitting more garments when I'm still planning to lose weight, and I'll have no idea kind of what my body will look like when I finish losing weight. My partner said to me, oh, why don't you just knit a size medium or a size small? And I just said, but you don't, like, you can't choose where weight comes off in your body. So I might lose a lot in my bust, but not necessarily a lot in my hips or my stomach. And then, you know, it would be based on the measurements of that is what you choose on, because it says to measure the widest part of your body, and I don't know what will be the widest part when I stop losing weight. So my knitting mojo just 100% went, because I thought, you know, what is the point in knitting things that won't fit me in a year's time? So I've come to terms with the fact that, you know, I won't be knitting garments probably until later on in the year, but I'll just see where I am at the time. I'm not going to stress about it. But in that kind of knitting mojo, I became obsessed with crocheting cardigans and knitting shawls, which I would like to show you in a podcast. So yeah, kind of came to terms with that. But for a good over a month, I did lose the kind of crafting mojo altogether. Also, I just want to briefly touch on anxiety. If anyone's been watching for any amount of time, you'll know that I do have a autistic son who started school this year. He was meant to start school last year, but there was a lot of messed up things happening with the EHCP and everything. I'm not going to go into it because I have gone into it already. But he finally got a school place, a private school place. And even though I was really excited for him to start school, because it was kind of like this fight I've been fighting for so long. I was so excited for him to start school. But along with that excitement just came, you know, severe anxiety that I experienced. I think a lot of it is because so we live in Surrey and his school is in London. School transport comes and gets him and takes him there and drops him off again. But I think the anxiety is like, I don't drive, so if I was to go and get him, it would take me nearly 2 hours in public transport. and it's around 30 to 40 minutes in the car. So it's not like I'm, you know, the school's around here, I can run there in 10 minutes. I could walk there in 20 minutes if he really needed me. And obviously, because it is further away, there's no other choice. It had to be that far away. Like, there's nothing else closer. So yeah, if anything did go wrong, I would have to, I don't even know. And something did go wrong because I got a call whilst I was working to say that he had shoved something in his ear and that I needed to come and get him and take him to hospital. Luckily, my younger sister was available to take me in her car and take us to hospital, which was a whole other sort of thing. But yeah, so that's kind of the anxiety part gone, and on to surgeries. So yeah, I ended up going to hospital, and I'm not going to name the hospital near me, but I got there with my, you know, autistic son, told them the issue. They told me to wait in A&E, no, urgent care, sorry. I waited for 2 hours just for a doctor to tell me that that hospital does not have ENT. Oh dear. You know what, sometimes I think to myself, I'm so, oh, if this happened to me like 10 years ago, I'd go off the rails, I really would. But obviously I'm a mother, I need to set an example. So yeah, they made me wait for 2 hours to tell me there was no ENT at the hospital. I'm not going to say anything else because I'll say very bad words. And that we'd have to go to Royal Surrey, which is nearly an hour's drive away from our house. So we ended up going to Royal Surrey. We went there, they said, oh, come back tomorrow. They couldn't see, basically, he wasn't compliant. He's severely autistic and he's 5 years old. They said, come back tomorrow, we'll remove it under general anaesthetic. Severe anxiety about putting my child to sleep. And yeah, came the next day, 5 ENT doctors tried to have a look. They couldn't see anything, so they weren't sure. They were saying to me, are you sure there's something in there? And I said, I don't know. Like, I was not there. The school said yes, but I don't know 100%. So they said, go home, and on Friday we will try and sedate him and do it. Sedation just uses oral medication to make the child drowsy. So we went back on hospital on Friday, and by that point it kind of slipped down so I could see it. They tried to sedate him twice, didn't work, it made him worse. Sent us away again. They said, you know, you'll hear back within, you know, the next few days about surgery. We didn't hear back. We tried to call. Everyone was so helpful when you tried to call. They just don't know what you're talking about. Which I know that NHS is strange, but my child did have a foreign object in his ear. So yeah. And then we and my partner ended up taking him back to A&E, which, can I just say, Royal Surrey, A&E, it's amazing. We got our own room and everything because we just expressed that my son was autistic. We got our own like sensory room. It had like lava lamps. It was amazing. Anyway, and we took him back to A&E, and then they said, oh yeah, you know, and then we got a letter a few days later which scheduled surgery in their children's ward. Went back to Royal Surrey. I think now this was like the 4th or 5th time. And yeah, children's ward, he got a general anaesthetic, which was so difficult. I don't know how anybody can watch their child. Oh, like, I know it's necessary, but that hit me differently and in a way I never thought. And their medical parents out there, that is a reality for them regularly. I really feel for you, and you're so strong. Anyway, everything went fine. They removed it from his ear. It was a sycamore seed from one of them like helicopter leaves. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. And yeah, he was fine. He had a week off school because they actually had to cut into his ear to get it out. But after that, he was absolutely fine. And yeah. And then a week or two after that, very unexpectedly, I got a call from hospital. So a little backstory, I've been waiting to have surgery to remove my gallbladder for 3 years. So for 3 years I have been waiting to have surgery, and they've just forgot about me to the point where I ended up having 2 pre-ops and I kept having them because they expire every 4 months. And I was actually due to have another one, which I cancelled like 10 times because I can't be bothered to keep going and wasting my time when nothing's happening. So yeah, unexpectedly I got a call from the hospital to say, oh, we actually have a slot for you to have surgery in like 2 weeks. And I was like, excuse me? They were like, do you want to have surgery in 2 weeks? And I said, well, obviously I've been waiting 3 years in pain. And I know gallbladder remove, like gallstones and that, it's not life threatening, but affected my quality of life quite substantially, because I'd always have kind of dull aching in my stomach and the flare-ups would be severe. But because it didn't kill you, they were just giving me medication to manage it, which obviously doesn't solve the overall problem. Anyway, I had surgery on the 4th of December and I was just absolutely terrified. That's the only thing I can just say. I've never had general aesthetic. I'm not particularly medically interesting. Nothing really happens. And I'm pretty sure that if I never had children, I would never have antibiotics and I'd never have a cannula. I'd never have a catheter stitches, you know what I mean? I'd never have any, if I didn't have children and go through childbirth twice, I'm pretty sure I'd not have anything medically ever. That's how medically insignificant I am, which is obviously good because that's how you want to be. I had surgery. I was just terrified. I was on my own because my partner had to deal with my children. Yeah, and I was just so terrified. But yeah, everything went really well. I was really happy, and they looked after me so well. And to be fair, it was a walk in the park. Recovery was quite painful, especially like in my shoulders and that. But yeah, I'm now nearly 5 weeks post-op and everything's going really well, and I'm going to return to work in a week or so. So yeah, I'm really happy that's all happened. And this is probably a really boring video. I've stopped knitting because I need to count my rows, and I'm not actually sure if there's anything else to say, but I will be back. My vlogs that I used to do don't really get many views. I do enjoy making them. But yeah, we'll just see how we go with that. But I am definitely coming back to podcasts. If you heard my stomach rumble, I'm so sorry. I'm hungry. Well, I'm getting there and I'm thirsty. So you know what, I'm going to count my rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Right where I need to be. I'm going to quickly have a drink because I'm so thirsty. I don't know why. It's because I've been chatting, obviously. And I'm also going to show you what I'm working on. Just quickly. Not a podcast. But I'm working on a cardigan for my daughter. And this is called the Ditsy Daisy cardigan. And it's by Drops Design. So it's colour work. And it's actually the first time I've knit colour work flat. So yeah. I've knit colour work in the round, like when I've done the porcelain yoke sweater, but I've not knit it flat. So this is going well, and I'm just on the sleeve at the moment. Also, I've got other projects on the go, but that is for a podcast, and this is a life update. And that's my floats, just in case you're interested. And that's a Starcraft acrylic, the pink, and then the grey is just random acrylic I have in my stash. So yeah, there's a free pattern. I wouldn't say it's so amazingly clear, but you could probably give it a go. And yeah, I think that is all I have to say today. So definitely my content's going to change, but I am really excited to come back, and I just wanted to give you, a little life update. If you've stuck around, I'm so, grateful to you. I don't have a massive following, but those of you that do follow and comment and everything, I'm really grateful, and I'm really excited to be back and crafting with you again. So yeah, I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.